Are you ready to live your dream? Motivation, inspiration, and passion. That's what it takes to make dreams come true. Welcome to the Nadia Sahari Show. Our guests will share important tips, insights, and knowledge to help you fulfill your dreams of success. Here's your host, actress, author, entrepreneur, Nadia Sahari.
Hello, everyone. This is Nadia Sahari, your host with the Nadia Sahari Show. Welcome. And today I have a fabulous guest. She's amazing. She's beautiful. And let me tell you a little bit before I introduce her. This show is about dreams. It's about dreamers, us. We are the dreamers. We all have a dream of writing a book, of acting in a movie, of getting a record label, or having our own business. And I do all of those. And that's why I'm tired all the time. No, I'm just kidding. But I'm an entrepreneur too. I love everything, and that's my problem. I'm the little girl in the candy store. So that's why I invite guests to my show who will share their secrets, their journey, and the challenges that they have every day on how to do what they do and how they maintain that success and the failures they've had before the success. So my guest today is the beautiful and charming, beautiful Elaine Ballace. Welcome to the Nadia Sahari Show, Elaine.
Well, thank you, and thank you for having me. And I'm so proud that you got my name right.
Oh.
People never get my name right.
Never. I can't believe it. I do. I know.
I love it. I love that you got it right.
Oh,
you
great.
win an award already.
Oh, what do I get?
We're starting off great. Let's see. You'll get a free video.
Okay. All right.
From YouTube. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is, actually there are a couple, but the one that I like the best is Camp Elaine the Audition, and that one's the best one. So if they want to subscribe, they can subscribe to Camp Elaine. Okay. And if they see the show, The Audition, they know they're at the right one.
Okay. Well, let's talk about you right now and start talking about your history here. When did this inspiration, I gather you are a comedian and an actor because you are funny. So what inspired you? What inspired you to be a comedian, actress, or an actress, period?
Well, I know this is more than people want to hear or say, but I think, like they say, we're spirits and we're ready to be born. And God just knew, the only place she could be is Los Angeles, because that's the only place that will really understand and get her. And from as young as I can remember, which I think is about 3 or 4,
Yes.
And I've heard stories from my parents and stuff that this is what I did. So I think my entire life I wanted to be an actress and an entertainer, because my parents tell me when I was 3 and 4, I would produce shows. Like, whenever you have family gatherings, everybody had to perform. Didn't matter what you did. And I would dress everybody in costumes and everything. I mean, at 3 and 4, I remember when I was older doing it, but they claim even when I did it. And then I would take the hat. This I don't remember. I should remember this, though, now. Take the hat and pass it around and make everyone put in money.
Oh, that's funny.
So I think I was a born producer, an entertainer, and just, I think the greatest gift, which is really true, is laughter.
Yes.
And I always feel if I can make anybody laugh, I've done my job for the day.
Yes.
Because just to put a smile on someone's face or make him or her laugh is the greatest joy in the world. And I've just always been a performer. I had an older sister, and the doctor said she was very badly knock-kneed, and the doctor said, well, why don't you try ice skating? It really, in the long run, probably would have been cheaper had my parents just had surgery for her, but no. And so my mom would take me to the rink, and I would scream and cry. I wanted to get on the ice and everything. So finally, they let me on the ice, and I never got off. Well, now I'm off, but I never really got off the ice. And
Wow.
I just, I've always wanted to entertain and perform. And when I was growing up, there was a big difference between amateur and pro. So if you were a pro, you couldn't do anything with the amateurs. And if you were amateurs, you couldn't do anything with the pros, like you couldn't skate together. I mean, now the amateurs get paid to skate and compete, like in other sports. But back in the day, they couldn't. And once I did my first show, it was the applause. And I mean, it really is true about, the musical applause.
Yes.
Once you get those applause, it's, you can't stop. And the other thing is, once you get your first standing ovation, that's it. You are hooked for life. I always tell people it's easier to get into show business than it is to get out of show business, because once it's in you, there are no like AA or CA or any of those places. There's nothing to get out of show business.
Yeah, yes, and you're absolutely right, because I went through that at my young age too. At 10 years old, I was dreaming of being an actress, and I became a professional dancer when I was in my 20s.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, so
I
got the standing ovations. I got everything. I was on TV. I danced on telethons. So I understand what you're saying, and it's so true that you want that. You love it because you know that you did your job, that you made people happy and feel good. And that's what...
Exactly.
Yes. Otherwise, they wouldn't have given you a standing ovation. So
right. So it was always wonderful, and I did act as a child as well, but I was mainly skating. I mean, I did commercials and stuff like that, but I was mainly skating. And then in my 20s is when I was able to do both, because I was able to drive and I was done with school, college, and everything. And so it was like, okay, I drove myself everywhere. I don't know how I had all the energy, but I think there was less traffic then. So I did it all. And I knew though from a very young age that this was my calling. I mean, my calling was to entertain and to try and make people laugh. Well, you can't really try. You either do or you don't, I guess.
Exactly.
But, yeah. Someone just says that you can't teach comedy, but you either have the timing or you don't. And I just feel very blessed through skating that, because skating is timing, it's technique and everything else, but everything is timing in skating, and you either have it or you don't. Right. And you can teach people. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, down, up, down, jump, or whatever. But it's like skating to me, it was somewhat like comedy in that it was bigger than life. And I think that's why I just loved comedy so much. And the joy, and as a little kid, watching all the shows and watching, already they were in reruns, but watching the Lucy show, I love Lucy, and knowing almost every episode. And I go, that's just fun. It's just fun. And I just wanted to have fun. Girls just want to have fun. But it was, if you're having fun, I taught skating too for a while, and I used to tell my kids all the time, I'd say, look, if you go out there, and they were in like competitions and stuff, and I'd say, look, if you go out there and have fun and love it and enjoy it, everybody else will have fun and enjoy it. But if you go out there scared, everyone's going to pick that up, and they're going to be scared. And then they're never going to get the joy of what you're doing.
Elaine, who was your inspiration at the time when you were younger to get you involved with acting? And I know you had that dream, but you had to have some image or a role model or someone that inspired you.
I'll tell you, TV.
Okay.
Well, in skating, I knew I loved skating, and I'd watch people, and skaters have kind of a different attitude. It's like it's you and the ice, And first of all, it's always it's someone else's fault. It's never your fault. That's what you do learn in skating. It's never your fault. It's the ice. It's crowded. It's the blades, it's something, never your fault, of course. And so in acting, though, I studied as much as I could and everything, but for whatever reason, I was always drawn to old-time comedy. I mean, I just loved it, like George Burns and Gracie Allen's I Love Lucy, those kinds of shows. And then you watched all the other shows with the family shows and stuff like that. I was always drawn to the bigger characters, and I think those characters like Lucille Ball, like Gracie Allen, like all of them were just amazing. And then, my favorite person in the whole world is Mel Brooks. So, I just love him and had the privilege of working in 4 of his movies. And he knew me as a skater, too, when I was very young and did shows and stuff. And I love his comedy. He kept going, my comedy, I use broad. You're not a broad. You're a sweet girl. I go, don't worry. Madeline Kahn was wonderful in his movies. And, I mean, there were so many good people. And I think every girl growing up, would watch Doris Day and Rock Hudson films and fantasize, this is going to happen to me,
Yes.
This is what I want. And I love musicals. Except I can't sing a note. But it doesn't stop me. Like, tonight is the Pointer Sisters are going to be at the Hollywood Museum, an exhibit. They're getting the entire second floor for the Pointer Sister exhibit. And I met Bonnie Pointer and Anita Pointer. Anita's so funny. And I go, well, listen, I'm the new Pointer Sister. And they just laugh. And I go, listen, I can sing, but I know 2 songs. I know Amazing Grace and Mercedes-Benz. And they usually, for whatever reason, everyone picks Amazing Grace. And so usually by the time I get to Grace, now, that's only the second word. By the time I get to Grace, they're all laughing hysterically. And so she goes, okay, you're in. So I was the new Pointer Sister. And so, and also Rosalind Kind, who is the sweetest person in the world. Her sister is Barbara Streisand, and they look exactly alike, although I think Rosalind's a little prettier. I said to her, well, tell us what you're doing now, And so she'd say, well, I'm recording this album or that album or this. I go, listen, I am a wonderful singer. And she's like my best audience now. By the time I get to Grace, she's on the floor laughing. So I said, listen, I got you. Don't worry. I can do backup. If you get sick, I'll go on for you. Don't worry. I got you covered. But I've always loved singing, and it never stopped me. I always wanted to be a rock star. So I met someone once, and it was at a celebrity fashion show, and I couldn't model worth anything, although I was a fit model in the garment industry. But it was so funny because I am, as I call myself, vertically challenged to be a model. And so this man just thought I was absolutely hysterical in this fashion show, and he offered me a job to be an announcer at this rock concert. One day was country and the other day was rock. So I said, okay, I'm in. We went there. It was a 2-day concert. And I've got to tell you, there is a feeling when you see like 100,000 people or 50,000 people or whatever out there screaming. It's like, oh my God, this is the most fascinating thing in the world. And you realize the power. I mean, it's really about the power, I think. And again, if you can make them laugh or engage them. Yes. So if you're engaged with that many people, it's just the most powerful thing in the world. And it was so much fun. And we were helicoptered in and out because there was all this traffic. And I thought, wow, this is the life. Fringe rock star.
Cool.
Right?
Elaine, we're going to take a short break. We'll be right back. All right, we are back with Elaine Ballace. Elaine, I noticed...
I didn't go anywhere. I'm still here.
You're still there, okay.
I'm still here.
I was reading about you that you're in the 3rd season of The Rich and the Ruthless.
Okay, The Rich and the Ruthless is a really funny series. It's a funny series that was created by Victoria Rowell, who was on The Young and the Restless and Diagnosis Murder and many other things. And she created the series as a behind-the-scenes series of what goes on in a soap opera. Mm-hmm. And the real difference is our soap opera is now they have more, mixtures of mixed race and whatnot, but yes. Ours is really predominantly a black soap opera mixed with white. Uh-huh. But I would say it's probably 50 or 70, 65-35 included are Hispanics and everybody in the soap opera and the behind the scenes and who's vying for what. And it's all about the personalities.
And where is this shown?
It's on UMC Urban Movie Channel. And you can get a subscription. You get 1 week free, so you can binge on seasons 1 and 2.
Okay.
And they drop a new episode every Thursday. And you can watch The Rich and the Ruthless. And I play Fern, the owner of the soap opera. It's his soap opera. And I play his assistant. So I have the most gorgeous man in the world for a boss, and that's Richard Brooks. And he used to be on Law and Order, and he was on Being Mary Jane, and I mean everybody on it just gorgeous. But it's character driven. Okay. So they're all gorgeous. I mean, the person who plays the lead, well, of course it's Victoria Rowell and Richard Brooks. They own soap opera. And Alicia Renee, who won for Best Actress in a Comedy this year, and she's just gorgeous. There's so many others. There's Mikkel Shannon Jenkins, who's just this gorgeous hunk. And there's Michael Collier, who's a comic. Many people probably know him from his comedy, who's the funniest man on the planet, and I'm his biggest fan. I adore this man. Shadow Stevens is on it.
Oh,
I'm sure a lot of people.
Shadow. I remember Shadow.
Right, yeah. And so he's on it, and he kind of sometimes plays my quasi-love interest. So it's really fun.
Cool.
So he's like such a character. There isn't anyone on the show that I don't love. And when Alicia did her acceptance speech, she said, well, we all really love each other. And I couldn't say anything truer than what she said. And she said, and we just show up. Oh, I didn't know you were working today. Well, I'm not. I'm just here hanging with everybody because we really are family. Victoria did such an incredible job. So a definite shout out to Victoria Rowell, to UMC for, having us on there for now 3 seasons. So it's great. It's The Rich and the Ruthless, and it's so much fun. And then I also have a movie coming out, hopefully this year, called Love Without Hairs. And it was written by Raphael Buñuel, who is the son of the famed director Louis Buñuel, who won all the awards in the 60s, I think it was, 60s and maybe 70s. And the director is a famed director from Spain, and his name is Javier Barbera, and he's wonderful. And it's just a 2-person movie. It was based on a play that Raphael had written. It's called Love Without Hairs. There is a website called Love Without Hairs, and it's about Buñuel Barbera Films.
What is your part in this Love Without Hairs?
I am the lead lady because there are only 2 people, and I play kind of a down and out old age kind of hooker. And the relationship between this old man who comes to see me, but he's not really all that old, but over the hill, that's what they call it, an over the hill hooker because I guess Over the Hill now is 24, so I'm 25. No,
I
just
see.
kidding.
Is this going to be released in the theaters?
Yes. He wants to do the film festival circuit, like Cannes and Venice and a couple others, because Louis Buñuel won at all these festivals. So Raphael wants to kind of like, do it that way as well too, like what his dad did. But it's going to be released hopefully very soon. But they can go to that website and look at the trailer. And the web series that I had that was on YouTube, they can go to YouTube Camp Elaine, and there are all kinds of, old videos from it. But the new one is called The Misadventures, because I've realized as I've grown wiser in life, there are so many misadventures that everybody faces every day. I thought it was more fun to do that.
Yes.
So it's kind of like about the adventures in life that, you're going along thinking everything's great or it should be that simple, and life kind of throws you a curveball.
Yes.
So those are really fun. And then I start a new movie in July next month for, it's called Dared. I play the nosy neighbor. If people are around, just a shout out to people who are in Hollywood, that they can go see the Pointer Sister exhibit, and all of the exhibits actually that are at the Max Factor building in Hollywood, on Hollywood and Highland. And the exhibit opens tomorrow to the public.
Okay, cool. What valuable advice would you give our listeners if they want to pursue their dream career that's similar to yours or just like yours exactly? To be an actress, to be a comedian. You know what? I think everyone in life, I think we all have X number of years, and I think you can only make choices that we all have to live, and we all have to do certain things. Right.
But I say never give up your dream and never stop trying.
Right.
You may have to combine it, like have a combo plate,
yes,
but never give up on it. And whenever you're in a position to be able to do more for your dream, and it doesn't even have to be in acting. It could be writing, it could be producing, it could be directing, it could be a stylist, it could be someone who just wants to work behind the scenes. Just keep doing it, like they say, so you don't get old. Just keep moving.
Right.
Movement
is life, and life is movement.
Well, as a dancer, you would know that as well. And I think that's what you have to do. And the success doesn't always come really in the money. I mean, of course, everybody needs it, and that's what we strive and thrive for. But I think the success is, to thine own self be true. You perform from the heart. Yes. And I think that's the key.
Well, the thing
you have to have the passion.
Right. And the thing is that you do have to have the passion. And if you have the passion, everything else kind of comes along. But it's how much you put into it. It's
It's who owes you, and who believes in you. And but I think the real key is just never stopping.
Absolutely.
Never giving up. You may find that at one age you wanted to do this.
Yes.
But at another age you want to do something else or whatever. So I think the whole idea is to constantly evolve, to constantly grow, and to constantly never give up. I mean, if you're 60 and want to play a 20-year-old, well, it may not happen, but if you were into comedy or into sketches, I mean, you could do it where it's over the top and you're poking fun of yourself. So there's never a limit, really.
Right. Well, Elaine, you're amazing, and I do want
to... Oh, thank you.
You're adorable. Let me ask you, where can our listeners connect with you on your social media?
Well, I'm on Facebook under Elaine Ballace or Elaine Ballace Actress. So there are 2 pages. And on Twitter, which I am not that good at anymore because I had my account was hacked, and I had the Camp Elaine account, and that one was doing really well, and Twitter shut it down and wouldn't reopen it for I don't know what reason because it was hacked. And so I'm at E Ballace, B as in boy, ALLACE. I go there, but not as often as I used to. So if someone follows me on that, that would be great. And I will follow you back. But if I don't answer you like right away, don't be offended because I'm not on Twitter every day, but I am on Facebook every day. So, they could totally, on Facebook, it seems like you can communicate with people easier.
Well, Elaine, I want to say thank you so much for taking your
Why,
time.
thank you.
Oh,
thank you.
So
this was
sweet.
so much fun.
Yes.
Oh, well, you're terrific. It's easy to be nice. You make it really easy to be nice.
Thank you. Well, you're amazing and wonderful and gorgeous, and I thank you so much for taking your time.
And I'll pay you later.
Okay, you
for all
owe
the
me.
nice things.
You owe me. Okay.
I'll pay you later.
All right, sweetheart. You have a great day, and thank you so much, and we'll talk real soon.
Thank you so much, and thanks for letting me be a guest on your show.
Oh, thank you for being on my show. God bless you.
Oh, you too.
That was Elaine Ballace. And thank you so much to all of you who have listened in live, and we really appreciate it, and we love your support. We have a lineup that is incredible, and I can't wait to have the shows. I would like to ask you a question before I close the show. Are you dreaming of your life, or are you living your dream? Ask yourself that question. God bless you all.
Thanks for tuning in with Nadia and her guests. For more info, episodes, and connection, please visit our website, thenadiasaharishow.com. Share episodes with your friends. Follow us on Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, Instagram, and most importantly, never give up. Live your dream.